Ahkam in brief. Zakat. Zakat is an obligatory tax for those who own specific type of livestock, grains, fruits, gold or silver coins, and wealth in business. In this video, we will discuss this topic in detail. First, zakat on livestock. If one owns any species of goat, sheep, cow, buffalo, or camel, and he meets the following conditions, he has to pay zakat on them. The conditions are: first, one should own them and have a discretion over their disposal. So for example, zakat is not obligatory for an animal that is lent to someone else. Second, the animal should be pastured on what grows naturally and not what is cultivated by man. Third, the number of animals should reach the taxable limit. For camels, the minimum taxable limit is owning 5 camels, and the zakat is giving 1 camel. For cows, the minimum is having 30 cows, and the zakat for this number is 1 male calf aged 1 year or more. For sheep, it is minimum 40 sheep, and the zakat is 1 sheep. Note that this is the minimum taxable limit. If one owns more than these numbers, the amount of the tax might vary. The rate should be checked in the Islamic laws book. Fourth condition is that zakat only becomes obligatory if one meets all the mentioned conditions for a period of 11 months and more. In other words, zakat is due only if one owns the minimum specified number of animals which are naturally pastured for 11 months or more. Note that some jurists say if the animals are used for work, such as tilling the fields or for riding, etc., they are exempted from obligatory zakat. Refer to the jurist you follow for details. Zakat on grains and fruits. This only includes wheat, barley, date, and raisin, and the zakat becomes obligatory if they meet these conditions. First, they should be ripe and ready. This means to reach a stage that they are called wheat, barley, date, or grape. Second, one should own them at the time of ripening. Third, zakat belongs to the crops of 1 year even though they do not ripen all at once, such as when the harvest takes place gradually over a few weeks or even months. Fourth, the minimum taxable amount is about 847 kilograms of harvested crop, but this should be calculated in this way. For wheat and barley, they should be threshed then weighed. For the dates, it should be after being picked off the branches and gathered. For grapes, it is to estimate the weight of them becoming raisins. When should zakat be paid? Zakat is due at the time of ripening, but it becomes obligatory to pay it at the time of harvest. So for example, if one didn't harvest the fruit and it was spoiled, zakat will remain obligatory on him. How much should one pay? If the land cultivated with these crops is irrigated naturally, like by rain or from the moist in the soil, the zakat shall be 10%. If it is irrigated by man, like watering using a pump from a water well, the zakat payable shall be 5%. If it was irrigated using equally the both methods, payment of zakat shall be at the rate of 7.5%. Finally, the same crop can be paid as zakat or its equivalent in monetary value. Coins of gold and silver. The gold or silver should be made into coins and are in currency for transactions, though there is no zakat on jewelry or ornaments. Note that nowadays, gold and silver coins are not used as currency anymore, so this type of zakat might not be applicable in our time. And lastly is the zakat on business goods. This includes any goods or wealth earned by commutative contracts which is set aside for investment in business or profit earning. This does not include what is bought for consumption. The zakat will become obligatory if it meets these conditions. First, one should own them and have a discretion over their disposal. For example, if they are lost or stolen, there will be no zakat on them. Second, the owner must be sane and at the age of puberty, so there's no zakat if it's owned by a minor. Third, the goods should have reached the minimum taxable limit, which is equal to that mentioned for gold and silver coins. The amount of the zakat is 1/40 or 2.5%. Fourth, the goods should have remained for 1 year from the time the owner intended to invest it for profit. If the intention changes throughout the year, like when he decides to spend it for maintenance, then he will not pay its zakat. Fifth, throughout the year, the owner should have a buyer of the goods equal to the capital or more. If, during the year, he gets a buyer for the goods for less than the capital outlay, it will not be obligatory upon him to pay its zakat. To whom should zakat be paid? Zakat is given to those who are deserving. According to Ahkam, there are 7 main groups who deserve zakat. Number 1, zakat can be given to a faqir or a miskin. According to Ahkam, a faqir or a poor person is one who does not possess actual or potential means to meet his own and his family's expenses for a period of 1 year. And a miskin or destitute person is who leads a harder life than a poor person, like the one who doesn't have his daily bread. Note that if the poor person is capable of working and there is suitable job opportunity which will suffice him, he is not allowed to take zakat. Second, zakat can be used to pay the officials who are appointed to collect, maintain, and distribute zakat to the deserving ones. Third, zakat can be given to those who may, as a result of being given zakat, be inclined to Islam. In general, the lawful governor can decide to give it to some people for a religious or political interest. Fourth, zakat can be spent on the slaves to set them free. Fifth, it can be given to an indebted person who is unable to repay his debt, so long as the debt wasn't spent on haram things. Sixth, zakat can be spent in the way of Allah for the common benefit of Muslims, which is proved by the lawful governor. For example, building mosques, schools, hospitals, and etc. And finally, it may be given to a stranded traveler to return to his home with the condition that his trip wasn't for a haram purpose and he doesn't have anything to sell or to rent to cover his costs. The qualification of people receiving zakat. If a person is entitled amongst the previous 7 groups, he should meet these qualifications to be able to receive zakat. 1. He should be a 12-er Shia believer. 2. Zakat shouldn't be given to a person who spends it for a sinful purpose. It also cannot be given to a fasiq or corrupt drunkard or one who does not offer daily prayers. 3. A sayyid cannot take zakat from a non-sayyid, but he can give his zakat to both sayyids and non-sayyids. 4. A person cannot pay from zakat the expenses of his dependents, like his children. But if they are entitled for zakat as stranded traveler, for example, or any title except faqir, he can pay them the zakat.